This is breaking news regarding the support that hurricane victims will be receiving after 2 hurricanes just crushed Florida, Tennessee, and the Carolinas. Hurricane Helene and Milton are estimated to potentially cause up to $100 billion in damages, and they may leave over 100,000 people completely stranded, like this person.
If you have ever stepped foot in these Appalachian Mountains and hiked them, we need you here. We need foot. We need people on foot. If you have ever hiked the Rocky Mountains, get here. We need you. We need people experiencing hiking. There's only a few ways to these people. It is through foot, horseback, or helicopter. Dirt bikes, ATVs, side-by-sides. If you have them and can get to East Tennessee or Western North Carolina, we need you. Do not listen to the news when they tell you that they don't want you, they don't need you. I'm telling you, I am here. I live here. I have been already. I'm telling you, we need you. We want you here. The hell with what FEMA says. The hell with what American Red Cross says. They're not here. I'm telling you, they're not here helping. It's been a week and they're not here. We need manpower. So if you are an experienced hiker, we need you in East Tennessee and Western North Carolina. If you are experienced dirt biker, we need you. If you are experienced in ATVs, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, whatever, we need you.
And this person.
My house washed away. I had a cat, I had 2 geckos. I lost it all.
We lost everything, family, friends, homes, our jobs, everything, our animals. We have nothing. We got family members floating down the river.
Jackie and Alex say they're struggling to find help and that resources are strained.
FEMA's here. You know what FEMA just told us? We can't get you a phone. I have no ID. I have no way to pay for food. He has no way to get gas. We're stuck. So we have to sleep in a car that's leaking with the same clothes we've had on since the...
For now, these strangers have each other until they can find more help and reach family.
Yeah, she hopped in and she said, "Thank God for country people."
This little boy was nice enough to pick me up.
And now there's even speculation that FEMA is completely broke and won't be able to assist anyone. So by the end of this video, we'll cover how much money FEMA will actually be paying out, how these individuals who are impacted can get help, and how you can protect yourself from some of these challenges ever happening to you. Also, be sure to hit that like button. Let's hear from those who are having challenges getting help from FEMA.
I just want everyone to know that we are displaced due to Hurricane Helene from Western North Carolina. We cannot go home. We have no power, no food, no water, no nothing. We are spending $400 a night on a hotel due to price gouging in the surrounding areas because they know that people have nowhere to go. We applied for FEMA. Myself and my sister applied. My sister applied first. She got denied. I said, okay, let me try. I applied. We got denied. So we have both been denied FEMA assistance. So everyone's saying FEMA is helping $750. And by the way, that $750 wouldn't even cover 2 nights at this hotel. So I just want everyone to know that FEMA sucks and President's doing nothing and we are stuck here. I am blowing through all my savings in a hotel to escape a natural disaster.
The question I have is, for those who are denied assistance from FEMA for whatever reason and they're displaced, what exactly are they supposed to do? For many of these people, their homes have literally been washed away. So I know it must be challenging to get denied assistance. The other thing is that $750 is not going to go too far for someone who lost everything. So I can definitely say that I understand her frustration about this. Now, according to FEMA, there's a lot of misinformation about what they've been doing. Let's take a deeper look at that. So they said a myth is FEMA will only provide $750 to disaster survivors to support their recovery. And they say the fact is there are other forms of assistance that you may be eligible to receive. The $750 is an upfront flexible payment you may receive while FEMA assesses your eligibility for additional funds. As your application continues to be reviewed, you may still receive additional forms of assistance for other needs, such as temporary housing, personal property, and home repair costs. If you have questions about your disaster assistance application and what you qualify for, contact the FEMA helpline. Myth: FEMA only provides loans to disaster survivors. The fact, according to them, in most cases, FEMA grants do not have to be paid back. There are less common situations in which you may have to pay FEMA back if you receive duplicate benefits from insurance or grant from another source. For example, if you have insurance that covers your temporary housing costs, but you ask FEMA to advance you money to help pay for those costs while your insurance is delayed, You will need to repay that money to FEMA after you receive your insurance settlement. And the rest of it talks about how there's some disaster loans and different things that are available. And there's a section for SBA disaster loans for small businesses, but it sounds like homeowners, renters, etc., can do some of those things. So I'm actually curious to know what they mean by flexible payments. If you have any idea about that, definitely let me know in the comments. I'm also a bit curious about the potential other forms of assistance that they're talking about on the website. Now, maybe it's just me, but I find it kind of crazy that FEMA would ask somebody to essentially reimburse them if their insurance came in to cover a cost that they asked FEMA to cover. I mean, let's be honest, in a situation like this, every single penny someone can get after losing everything, it counts. Now, on one hand, it is a good thing that there are disaster loans that are in existence that people can apply for. And then on the other hand, it's just more debt that people are going to get in. So it's a hard situation. Now let's see how much FEMA has actually paid out to date. As of October 9th, federal disaster assistance for survivors has surpassed 344 million and reached 375,000 households. More than 8,000 federal workers from all parts of the country are supporting the response efforts in 6 states and 3 tribal nations for both Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. To date, FEMA has shipped over 17 million meals, nearly 14 million liters of water, and 210 generators. Those with access to power and cellular service can apply for FEMA assistance in one of 3 ways: online by visiting disasterassistance.gov, calling the FEMA helpline at 800-621-3362, downloading and applying on the FEMA app. So clearly there is a lot of misinformation and conflicting headlines and all these things. So you let me know in the comments, like, what do you think is true? Because clearly there are people who still need to be reached. And one thing that I did not see is what happens and what help do folks get who have no phones or access to internet and who are just out there trying to be found. That's something I'm curious about, but perhaps the workers who are going out there are looking to find people who may not have access to electricity, to their phones and stuff, so they can get aid. So a lot of unanswered questions. Let's take a look at what's happening in North Carolina.
The president sending 1,000 active duty troops to the region to help. And tonight, the once vibrant city of Asheville, North Carolina, right here, is in a shambles. Buildings and roads severely damaged by powerful floodwaters. We have new video tonight of the raging river nearby, picking up a home right there, slamming it into a pile of debris. Dashcam footage capturing the moment a couple narrowly missed being swept away by this landslide. This is from the Blue Ridge Mountains. Fast rising waters taking people by surprise. Look at this tonight. Stunned neighbors. They're huddled together inside a flooded home, standing right in the living room there. The images from Hendersonville, North Carolina.
I honestly can't believe what we're watching. I mean, the city is literally completely washed away, and it's like something out of a movie. It's really crazy. Now, to have to stand in water with your neighbors inside of a house just waiting to get help is just something I cannot even imagine. And I really hope by now that those individuals have been found and they've been evacuated and now they are somewhere safe. Now, the next clip is absolutely heartbreaking, so I need you to brace yourself before we get into this next one.
We have no way out.
In Fairview, North Carolina, the bridge leading to this neighborhood, gone.
I ran down 2 lines because, one, you can't get as much grip.
Philip Morgan showing us the makeshift system of ropes he's been using to rappel in and out. His brother is on a ventilator in need of supplies.
So this is how he says that he's able to, multiple times a day, bring up supplies for his family, many of them who can't get up and down this hill. He's the one that's going up and down every single day, trying to make sure that they get the critical supplies, life-saving supplies, even for his brother.
We climb up through down trees.
It's just a little bit more up this way.
Inside, Philip's sister-in-law tells us a generator keeps her husband's ventilator going.
But how much longer without power, without connectivity, without a bridge, do you think that you'll be able to keep going with all of this?
Really not much longer. It's getting rough and we're on day, I don't even know anymore.
My heart goes out to this family. I'm really sorry for what they have to experience, but I am glad that it's getting media attention. And hopefully by now they've gotten a lot more assistance and can actually get out of that situation. To have to go up and down that hill by a rope, carrying supplies, some of those things are probably heavy. That takes a lot of willpower, a lot of courage, and I'm sure it is a strain on the body. So shout out to him for doing what he has to do to take care of his family. And one thing that really concerns me is, what if the man who's in there on a ventilator doesn't have much time left? And, I really do hope that they found him and they were able to get him the assistance that he needs to prolong his life. And it makes me think about those who are victims of the hurricane who are in poor health or who are elderly. It's probably going to be way harder for them to move around and try to get out and do things. And so I'm hoping that many of those folks have been found. For all of those helping and who are out there on the front lines who may be watching, thank you for everything that you're doing for these communities that are in such desperate need. And if you have a family member or someone who is helping, send this to them and tell them that we thank them for everything they're doing. So if you live in an area that hasn't been impacted but tends to have extreme weather in some form, please make sure that you have the proper insurance. Take some time to call your insurance company and make sure that you are covered in the worst case scenario of a natural disaster that might come in your area. If you are a renter, make sure you have enough renter's insurance in the event that something happened to the place you live. Now, this is a hard time for people, and many of you want to be generous and give. I would just say be careful of where you donate your funds, where you donate your supplies to, and just do your best to make sure that it's legitimate. I'm still trying to find legitimate sources to give to. And so if you have any that you've given to that seem legitimate to you, please drop them in the comments so we can all pitch in and do what we can to support those who are suffering right now. Again, my heart goes out to all those impacted, especially if you're watching and you've been impacted, or you have family or friends who have been impacted, or anyone who's out there helping on the front lines. Thank you again so much. Thank you for watching this video. And now that you know a bit more about what's going on with these hurricanes, here are some videos that YouTube thinks you should watch next.